Overnight line moves here, Jeff. If you're not following SBRodds.com, as we know, money never sleeps. Neither do the lines. They're changing at all hours of the day. SBRodds.com, your first source there to get these line changes. Big East Tilton Providence, Jeff. When we spoke a little bit earlier today, we said the Friars were opened up at 3, moving to 4. I'm looking right now at SBRodds.com, Jeff, -5.5. It looks like some of the sharps out there have spoken for the Providence Friars, total of 149. Now still sitting at 149 at this point. Money line split, Jeff, +160, -180. What are we looking at here? Why is this line moving?
Yeah, that's a good question, Donnie. You look at all these games. There's always these weird moves, these weird things. And again, you and I are no stranger to finding these games where stuff just doesn't look right. I don't know. Maybe an injury. We'd have to look in more into Georgetown a little bit. Maybe people are just buying into Providence in this spot. But Georgetown's been a run and gun team. They've been a team I've enjoyed watching this year. I don't know that I understand this move, but again, this is a kind of a lesson to anyone out there. Make sure you're looking this stuff up. Don't just say, if you're not getting the best of a line, sometimes it's just okay to pass. You don't want to bet a game at the worst of it. If you like Providence and you didn't get on them early, it's maybe just time to recognize, I just missed that one. I'll move on. As far as why this line's moving, I can't really answer that. Maybe Mac McClung took a knock in practice yesterday. We have to keep abreast of this one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Looks like Georgetown taking the early public side here with about 62% as we look there at SBRodds.com. But a clear line movement indication, 2.5 points here in a major college basketball game is kind of interesting to look at. A10 injury info, Jeff, dropping for UMass. Two things here. First, let's take a look at the line here as we have Fordham going up to UMass to play. Opened up at 7, now sitting at 5 in some spots. So a 2-point line drop. But more interesting here, Jeff, offshore accounts, Pinnacle, Chris, opened up somewhere around 132.5. We're now showing 128, and that could be due to some injury information here.
Yeah, you look at Lawan Pipkins, might not play in this game, and you look at Donnie at what UMass wants to do on offense. They're a slashing team. They want to get into the paint. They've started to play this in and out kind of game where they're getting Rasheed Holloway a little bit more touches. But Lawan Pipkins makes them go. I've seen him live. He's a terrific scorer. Can get to the paint. Really can do all sorts of different things. He hasn't been as much a scorer this year, but he's dimed out a lot of assists. Been that go-to point guard that they must have in the lineup. What this does now, Carl Pierre has to take on a bigger role. Carl Pierre, I think, isn't as good as getting it to the lane. He's not as forthright to get into the lane and do things. So it's definitely going to hurt UMass's offense. Matt McCall's offense, when Pipkins isn't going, can become a little stagnant at times. Fordham, not a team that plays with a ton of pace generally either. They don't have a lot of guys that can really get a bucket when you need one. I worry about this game if you like the over. But we have seen an interesting move. You look at some of these reports out there, a lot of these sharp bettors are liking the over in this game. Could mean maybe behind the scenes, Pipkins might be a bit more healthy than people might lead on. We saw that last night in St. Louis's game, Donnie, against the game they played last night against Dayton. Javon Best didn't. It was questions of if he would play or not. I know you kind of were interested in that. He ended up playing. They win the game by 13. These players are important for teams like UMass and Dayton and St. Louis. Pipkins is as important as it gets.
Bucks heavy public side tonight coming in, Jeff. We're going to take a look at the total here, which looks like it's rebounded a little bit. Opened up offshore at betonline.ag at 231, dropped down to 228. But at the time of filming the show, Jeff, looks like we have a rebound back to 230. Points are expected here between the Wizards and the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, John Wall's injury with his Achilles has no bearing on this line since he's already been out. But we're seeing some volatility in the market early on. Bucks favored by 12. Over under there 230 at this point. Moneyline split, Jeff, plus 700, minus 1100. So some interesting stuff going down here, but the Bucks look like they're the public charm right now.
Yeah, they do. And this is kind of, you look at the last few days in the NBA, Donnie, a lot of people have some volatility around with the trade market. A lot of people not wanting to get involved, kind of stay away from the NBA right now. But I think for a bettor like me or kind of a bettor that looks in a line move, these are the best kind of games to get involved with. A lot of people are going to be down on the Wizards. No John Wall. What do they have now? But they're getting a boatload of points here. You got a Bucks team that's kind of rolling. They look at this game kind of midweek. Oh, we got the Wizards. They're obviously not a team that we have to worry a ton about. Look, they're definitely gonna win this game, Donnie. But you're asking them to win by double digits. Anytime I can get double digits in the NBA, I'm looking at the dog. Generally, what will happen in these kind of spots, Donnie? These are professionals. These are the best 400 players in the world in one league. What's going to happen is when a player goes out, Another player is going to step up. That's how it works in this league. And I'm always generally interested, Donnie, surprisingly, in teams that are without their best player. A lot of the time they're getting a better effort. You look at last night, case in point, the Memphis Grizzlies. They were without, Marcus Gasol. They were without certain players. They found a way, really put it together and won their game. So I'm always looking sometimes generally to get on these kind of spots. Other players are going to step up, a guy like a Chasen Randall or Troy Brown Jr., someone like that for the Wizards. I'm willing to think they can cover this big impost. A lot of points.
Big